Hi, welcome to 5IP, 5 interesting points. Today we'll be seeing about a temple, a very ancient temple that is dedicated to Lord Nataraja. This temple today is in a sprawling 40 acres. But 5,000 years back when it started with one small Shivalingam. Okay, we'll see that. The first point, Saint Patanjali, we all know who Saint Patanjali is. He's the one who compiled all the Yoga Sutras and put them together. This was in India. So this yoga, we all know yoga, the birthplace of yoga is India. And India shared yoga with the outside world. So this Saint Patanjali was the one who compiled all the Yoga Sutras and put them together. This Saint Patanjali was wanting to witness the dance of Lord Nataraja, the cosmic dance of Lord Nataraja. So he comes to the town of Chidambaram in Tamil Nadu. Chidambaram in those days was a very dense forest filled with Thillai trees. It was known as Thillai Vanam. So Saint Patanjali comes here and he finds a Shivalingam there, 5,000 years old. So he starts doing all the puja and abhishekam for this Shivalingam and he prays to the Shivalingam. And in due course of time, when the right time comes, Patanjali, along with a lot of other blessed souls, witnesses the cosmic dance of Lord Nataraja. Now this Shivalingam is still there in the Natarajar Kovil in Chidambaram. It's labeled as Adi Moolavar. It is still there, more than 5,000 years old. That is the first point. The second point is, when you go to this temple, Natarajar temple in Chidambaram, there's a huge pond there. It's known as Sivagangai Kulam or Sivagangai Pond. Today it's a very big pond. It has proper cement and bricks and walls and everything. But when it started, the way it started was when Saint Patanjali was there doing his puja for the Adi Moolava, the Shivalingam, those years, there was no water there to do the abhishekam for the Shivalingam. If you've seen the pictures of rishis those days, they always carry kind of a kettle-like vessel. It has a handle and it has a spout. In Tamil, it's called kamandalam. All the rishis will have that, and they'll have sacred water in it, water from the Ganges. So Saint Patanjali uses the water from his kamandalam to do the abhishekam for the Adi Moolava, the Shivalingam there. So this water slowly gets collected and forms a puddle. This puddle keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes the Sivagangai Kulam, because the starting of this water was from Ganges, was from Gangai. So that becomes a pond known as Sivagangai Kulam, which is still there in Natarajar Kovil. Now, what is interesting in this point is that even today, all the abhishekam that is done for the main deity, be it like honey or sandal paste, milk, curd, paneer, rose water, all of the abhishekam done, all of this is channeled to go and collect in the Sivagangai Kulam even today. Okay, that's the second point. Now, people hear about the medicinal values of this water, the water in the Sivagangai Kulam. It's supposed to heal a lot of diseases, ailments and all of that. So people from far and near start visiting, they pray to this Adi Moolavar and they bathe in the Sivagangai Kulam. So people come to know about it, and then the king and other merchants start donating things to this temple. They donate land, gold, riches, cattle, cows and elephant, all these things. So the civil structure of the temple slowly starts growing. The temple becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, the third point is, when the temple is growing bigger and bigger, we need people to take care of it, right? First, you'll have to maintain the temple, clean the temple. You'll have to do puja 6 times a day has to be done. The devotee should be taken care of. The prasadam has to be done. Then all the land that was donated, it has to be tilled. Agriculture has to be done. Then you have all the cattle. You should feed the cattle, bathe the cattle, milk the cattle. So much is there. And then you have to maintain accounts of the income, expense, everything, right? So you need a team of people to take care of it. So again, Saint Patanjali brings 3,000 very learned rishis all the way from Kailayam, all the way from Mount Kailash. 3,000 very learned rishis. These 3,000 rishis together form a community known as the Dikshadhar community. He brings them from Kailayam. So these Dikshadhars, their their only purpose in life is to serve the God. All they do is serve the God, pray to the God, do the puja, all of that. They wake up in the morning with the thought of the God. They go to sleep, the last thought is about the God. Whole day, they serve the Lord. They are known as Dikshadars. Their greatness was sung in a line in Thevaram, the 7th volume by Sundarar. He says, Tillaival Andanartham Adiyarku Adiyen. What that means is, the priests of Tillai, the Dikshadars, are servants to the Lord. They serve the Lord, so they are servants. To those servants, I, Sundarar, am a slave. He sings the greatness of the Dikshadars this way. We are not to confuse these Dikshadars with the pujaris in the other temples. Dikshadars are there only in Chidambaram and they serve only Lord Nataraja. Okay, that is the third point. Now, the fourth point, since we talked about Thevaram, Thevaram is a compendium of hymns on Lord Shiva. It has 7 volumes. The first 3 volumes was by Thirunjana Sambandar. The next 3 volumes was by Thirunavukarasar. The last and 7th volume was by Sundarar. Thirunjana Sambandar and Thirunavukarasar, the first 6 volumes were around the 7th century. Later, in the 9th century, was when Sundarar sang the 7th volume of Thevaram. Okay, this is Thevaram. We'll keep that aside. In the 11th century, you all would have heard about Arunmozhivarman, the famous Chola king, Rajaraja Chola. He had his capital in Tanjavur. In his capital, he had Shiva devotees come and sing songs on Lord Shiva. Rajaraja Chola was a great Shiva devotee. Now, when these people come and sing songs, it was not a complete song. It was like phrases, bits and pieces from something, from Thevaram. When Rajaraja Cholan asked about it, they said, we don't know the complete song. It's all part of Thevaram and we don't know where the entire song is, the complete song is of Thevaram, we don't know. Now, those days, people like Thirunjana Sambandar and Thirunavukarasar, they are great Shiva devotees. So what they actually would do is, they would travel from one Shiva temple to another Shiva temple. They would compose songs on Lord Shiva. They would go to the temple, they would sing those songs, and to record those songs, they would have inscriptions in palm leaves, Olai Chuvadigal. So when they have all the inscriptions and when they go to the temple, they sing the song and they leave those Olai Chuvadigal, the palm leaves, in the temple. They give it to the temple because they cannot be carrying it from temple to temple, right? So at each temple, they leave it. And when they travel to the next temple, they again compose songs on Lord Shiva. Now, in Chidambaram, they sing Thevaram and they leave all the palm leaves there, give it to the Dikshadars and tell them to take care of it. So all of the palm leaves are in Chidambaram. So Rajaraja Cholan goes to Chidambaram and asks the Dikshadars, can I please have the palm leaves, Olai Chuvadigal? The Dikshadars say, no, we cannot give it to you because Thirunjana Sambandar, Thirunavukarasar and Sundarar have given it to us for safekeeping. How can we give it to you? What if the saints come back and ask us, what do we tell them? So Rajaraja Cholan makes 3 statues of the 3 saints and he takes it to the Dikshadars and tells them, look, those saints lived about 200-400 years back. I cannot bring them here in flesh and blood, but these 3 statues are how close I can get. So please accept these 3 statues, and he leaves the 3 statues there and he requests for the palm leaves of the Thevaram. The Dikshadars do give it, but unfortunately, more than 70% of it is destroyed by termites. What we have as Thevaram today is only 10 to 20% of the original Thevaram. Okay? The point I was wanting to say here was, the 3 statues that Rajaraja Cholan brought there is still there in Natarajar Kovil. When you go there, you have to see that. You have to ask one of the priests and you have to go and see the 3 statues. That was the 4th point. Coming to the 5th point. Natarajar Kovil is a Shiva Alayam. It is a Shiva temple. But there is also the idol of Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, Govindarajaswami. That idol is also there. It is not known when it was consecrated, who brought it there. We don't know that yet. But it is there. And when you go stand there in front of Lord Vishnu's idol, you will know that it's kind of a misfit there. So it was brought much, much later and it was made to fit in that place where it is. Um, the reason I'm trying to say this point is there are stories, and there was also a movie in which it is shown that one of the Shaivite kings, Kulothunga Chola, ordered for the Vishnu idol to be thrown into the ocean. Now, guys, 5,000 years back or more, you have to understand India was a Hindu country. India still is a Hindu country, okay? But 5,000 years back, there was no Christianity or Islam. There were only two gods, Shiva and Vishnu. The people who prayed to Lord Shiva were Shaivites. Those who prayed to Lord Vishnu were Vaishnavites. So all of the quarrels, the misunderstandings and the small things like is your God big or my God big, all this was between these two gods only, Shiva and Vishnu. There were kings who were Shaivites and there were kings who were Vaishnavites. This Vishnu idol in this Shiva Alayam, Shiva temple, probably might have been where one of the kings was a Vaishnavite and he wanted a Vishnu idol also in the temple. That probably was a reason. Or it could have also been that they wanted to strengthen Hinduism and not have these partitions in that. And they tried to bring Hinduism together. And that is the reason they had a Vishnu temple there. But this story of Kulothunga Chola, ordering his men to throw the statue away into the sea, I have not heard of it. I was brought up in Chidambaram. I've been there for more than 25 years. I have not heard of any such story. I was raised there listening to the stories which were given down from generation to generation. And this story I have not heard. It was sad when I saw the movie about this. It probably could have been one reason why the story comes up. Because Kulothunga Chola was the king who actually gave the temple to the Dikshadars, or rather he gave a pattayam, a copper plate in which it's inscribed that I, Kulothunga Chola, say that this temple, Natarajar Kovil, belongs to the Dikshadars. So maybe the Vaishnavites got a bit agitated or worried that something might happen to the idol of Lord Vishnu. They might remove it or they might be in trouble. Maybe that is the reason why this story came up. But as far as I have heard and done research, there is no such thing. The idol of Lord Vishnu was outside the temple for some time only because they were not sure where to put it. And if you go to the temple, as I said, and see, you will see that that Lord Vishnu's idol is quite a misfit there. You will see that. Anyway, these are the 5 points I was wanting to tell you. Now, I want you guys to really go to the temple, visit the Natarajar temple, read about that temple. It has a great history of more than 5,000 years. Read about all the saints who've been there and all the great people who contributed to the temple. Read about all of that. And question time. When you've seen the statue of Lord Nataraja, okay, he's standing with one leg raised and his damaru in one hand, fire in one hand, all of that. He is standing on top of a demon, right? If you're interested, try to research and see who that demon is, what is his name, and what is the story behind that. If you're interested, you can comment here below or you can email us. Anyway, thanks for watching and may you all be very blessed by Lord Nataraja. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye.